来たかなおー
はい。
すごいね。ハロー。フィリップ。
こんにちは。
Actually, I would like to say I've drunk your wine, half of it already.
Okay,
nice.
in the meantime.
In the meantime, yes. Just only 30 minutes. Because of your wine. Very fine. Great. ね、本当に美味しい。皆さんもね、これはぜひ、一度おすすめします。バラと言うんですけどね。
This is actually the landscape, and you see this mountain in front over there. Just behind this mountain is the Lake Balaton. So means we are
the mountain should be the Badachoni.
Exactly. Very good. Very good.
Yes.
This is what you see is the Badachoni. By this mountain, also the wine region is named. It's called the Badachoni wine region. And over here we have the St. George, which is like the Badachoni as well, a volcanic hill, a volcanic mountain. And then we have here this little peak here. And this little peak, they are called Toti and Gulach. Two small mountains, but you can see in the shape that they have been formerly underwater volcanoes. This is actually our mountain. It's called the Chobans Mountain. The winery was founded in 2004. And all of our vineyards that we have are actually around the winery. So all the 26 hectares are around the winery. Let me switch. So this is the winery. So actually the Villa Tolnai house, from the backside. The small house is the pressing house where we process the grapes and everything. The cellar is subterranean, so it's underneath. It's built into the mountain. We didn't want to put a big building into this nice environment here, so we built everything underground. And all the vineyards, as you can see, are actually around the villa. So this down here, what you see, this is Chardonnay, the Chardonnay plantation. Then we have here some Italian Riesling, German Riesling. This here is a big empty plot, which we are gonna replant next year. This is actually Riesling, our Riesling vineyard. And over there, this is part of the Furmint. So it's really everything around the house. It's by here. So this is what you saw yesterday, Takahiro. This is the Furmint.
That's the Furmint. Yes. 皆さん、時々ハンガリーナイトらしいフルミントです。
Exactly. Actually, what you are drinking, what you have in the bottle now comes from here.
Exactly. 皆さん、今日このバラトンを飲んでくれてる人は一体何人いるんでしょうか。このバラトンですね。これは本当に美味しいね。このリースリンゴとフルミントが半々ぐらいでこれ入ってるんですかね。このバラトン。ここのまさにフルミント。フルミントが、あれですな。今、つぼみが出とるんですな。いいね。
And let me show you, Takahiro, the little brother from this Furmint I just showed you.
リトルブラザー。リトルホンダみたいなもんでしょうか。何なんでしょうか。it's a small one, no? Just 1 year old.
Actually, this was planted about 2 months ago.
2 months ago. あれが2ヶ月前に植えたフルミント。
I was working in Switzerland in the IT business. So I had an IT consulting company. And already since about 30 years, I like wine. So I was always fascinated by wine. I was collecting wine. I traveled a lot to wine regions. So Germany especially, Burgundy, one of my favorite parts for wine. And I was always fascinated, not only in drinking wine, but also understand how how the grape gets into the bottle, actually. And so when I started to visit Hungary, where actually I met my wife, so she is here.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Very nice to meet you. You're the wife of Philip San.
So when I met Adriana, we traveled quite a lot here in Hungary, and actually I get stuck here in this Balaton region, in the North Shore, which is about the same distance from Vienna to here, like from Budapest. So it's quite convenient. And I was fascinated by the potential of the terroir here, especially by the potential of the volcanic soil and the sediments, the sediment layer from the former Pannonian Sea. And when we started in 2003, it was actually about to make 1 or 2 barrels, you know, private wine, table wine for us, for family, friends. And it worked quite nice in 2003, and in 2004 something went wrong. So after the harvest we had about 15,000 liters in the cellar, which is way too much for family and friends. I do not have so many friends for about 20,000 bottles. So that's when we decided and actually went to the market here in Hungary. So first vintage was in 2004. In 2004 until 2016, we traveled very much. So almost every month we drove from Switzerland to Hungary, to the winery, to take care about everything. As of 2008, I had a partner. So I took a partner. He's responsible for the vineyards and the cellar. And well, that's how everything started. So actually by passion, love for wine, and a little accident. So actually, Roland I met quite some time ago. I think it was in 2001 or 2002, actually, just when he started with his Moritz project. Yeah, very early in the beginning. And actually, he helped me a lot in the beginnings. So especially 2004, 2005, 2006. He spent quite some time here on the winery and actually helped me with the things in the vineyard and in the cellar and so on. So I had quite a lot of support and know-how from him, which helped us, of course, a lot. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure right now where we met the first time, if it was here in the winery or at his place. Yeah. But well, it was actually from the first minute we understood each other, and we had, let's say, more or less the same taste for wine. So he moved me maybe a little bit more in the Burgundy direction that I have been before. And well, it's always a nice time with him. And still today, he was here about, I guess, 2 months ago to taste, to make barrel tasting from 2020. Yeah. And well, we see each other once or twice a month at least, I would say. In Hungarian language, it's called Egészségedre.
Egészségedre.
Yes, almost. Yes. Yeah. That's very, very close.
ゲシュゲデレ。すごい。
So,
初めて聞いた。
the best is if Adriana explains to you.
Great. Then, 皆さん、ゲシュゲデレで。アドリアナ。
Egészségedre. You say egészségedre.
Egészségedre.
Yeah, perfect.
Egészségedre.
Perfect.
それでは皆さん。はい。乾杯。Egészségedre. Egészségedre. 乾杯。
乾杯。
Egészségedre. 言えねえ。 ハンガリー語ってむちゃくちゃ難しいんですね。
The project was initiated by Roland Felich from the Moritz winery. And so actually we joined in 2016 with the vintage. We did then the vintage 17, but the idea that Villa Tolnai becomes part of this project started in 15, 16. And I liked very much the idea of Roland with this idea of the hidden treasures. People need to understand that in the 19th century, so this means before the phylloxera came here in this region, so about 1876, 1878, from this region here, from this Pannonian region, came some of the most expensive wines in Europe. So even more expensive than Bordeaux at that time or Burgundy. However, high quality wines. So they have been really on the top list of wine merchants. And then first there was the problem with the phylloxera, of course. So the wineries, the winemakers, they first needed to recover from this. Then we had the First World War, the Second World War. We had the communism here in Hungary, and actually a lot of this part, unfortunately, became forgotten. Now, even if the history was hard and the history changed a lot in this region here, actually the terroir and the soil stayed still the same. So the whole history didn't affect, of course, the soil and the terroir here. And I guess we have in Hungary, as well in Croatia, we are very, very fortunate with the soils, with the different soils we have here, especially here at our place with the volcanic soil that we have here. So Roland's idea was actually to raise these hidden treasures again, to show the world the potential that is available here in this country, which was unfortunately for quite a few decades behind the Iron Curtain and became forgotten. And so he started with a wine from Tokaj, with a wine from the Shomlo mountain, which is about 45 kilometers north from us. And with Villa Tolnai, he started really to reflect these typical Pannonian terroir with these typical Pannonian grapes. Yeah, this was the idea behind. And actually each hidden treasures, number 1, number 2, number 3, really also reflects the local terroir. So if you compare Furmint to Riesling or to any other grape, even though it is, to compare it to Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay, Furmint never has this typical primary fruit. So if you smell a Riesling, you have this typical primary fruit from the Riesling or from the Chardonnay, especially from the Sauvignon Blanc. Furmint is always very elegant, quite fresh, always on the acidity side, and it actually reflects the terroir in an amazing way. So if I always say, if you would like to reflect the terroir here from Villa Tolnai, then we should do it with Olas Riesling or with Furmint, yeah, because they are like an ambassador for the terroir. Because they have no primary fruit. I mean, they are fruity, yes, of course, but they are always purely focused on the soil. We have here at the winery our own asparagus, and she wanted to show you, Takahiro-san, what we actually, if we drink Hidden Treasure number 3, Riesling Furmint, in these days, in this season, what we eat. Yeah. What is a pairing food for this? Yeah.
アドリアーナさん。はい。なんか持ってきていただけたんです。はい。相手、アドリアーナさん。めっちゃいいな。お white asparagus ね。You have a vegetable garden, a few. これ全部自家菜園ですね。この、インスタライブ前にいろんな写真を送ってくれたんですけど、めっちゃたくさん試作していただいて。Which sauce do you use?
That's actually
Yes, so actually the base sauce is homemade elderflower syrup. This gives sweetness, and some homemade yogurt. This is for the sour. This is the base. What I'm using, I put the asparagus in, and when I think that they are just still crunchy, so no overcooked, I take them outside, and in a sauce I put all herbs what I find in the garden, and also wild herbs. So it's actually like over 20 different kind of herbs inside.
素敵。20種以上の、家庭菜園のサラダでございます。素晴らしい。
Because you have the sweet and sour, you have the bitterness, very little bitterness from the asparagus. And of course,
甘みと酸味、そしてこの、アスパラガスの土地の苦味っていうんですか、それがこのバラトンに合いますよって、なんか皆さんも校内マリアージュが完成いたしましたでしょうか。まあ、このバラトン、本当美味しいね。いい。ということで、Thank you and
thank you. Thank you so much for being part. Have a nice weekend, Takahiro.
ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、コメントお待ちしております。またお会いしましょう。